Hello, everyone, and welcome to an exclusive interview with the head coach of the DeSales University baseball team, Tim Neiman, who today is announcing that the 2025 season, his 36th with the Bulldogs, will be his last, and that he will be retiring from coaching at the end of the season. Coach, let me be the first to say congratulations, not only this announcement, but also on an unmatched career.
Thank you, BJ. I mean, I really appreciate all you do for us and your staff here, Pat, and Leo, and everybody else. Could not have been this successful over the years without all the support. So thank you for having me.
So I want to ask you a bunch of questions, but we'll start with some easy ones. I've known you for like 28 years, ever since I was a student here and I was your manager my senior year, and now obviously working at DeSales, and you have a nickname of the Big Wheel. But ironically, despite knowing you for so long, I had no idea where that name came from. So can you tell me where you got that nickname?
What makes two of us? I don't know either, to be honest with you. I think if I had to speculate, the kids know I like music, so I think it came from Tina Turner's Proud Mary. You know, big wheel keeps on turning, rolling down the river. And I think that's maybe where it came from. 10% guess, but to be honest with you, I don't have the first clue. I really don't. But it kicks around.
Something to ask the alums next time you're together.
Yeah, I kind of surveyed them a couple guys last night, and they couldn't pinpoint it either. So
that's funny.
I don't know. It's kind of cool, though.
So before we get to some retirement questions, you're 1 week removed from the third trip to the Dominican Republic with your team. I feel like the first time you went, you were skeptical, but every time you've gone, I think you've liked it more. You visited an orphanage, played a few games, even had a surprise visitor. Can you tell us a little bit about that trip?
The trip was great. Again, it was our third trip. We went 2015, 2019, and now COVID kind of pushed us back a couple of years. But it's always a great experience for the kids. They, culturally, the baseball's outstanding. They get a chance to see what, third world country is, basically. But we get treated really, really well. Kids played. We played in the Navy. We played the Air Force, where the guards get on the bus with a AK-47. We played a bunch of the pro guys that were in the area, in the community for in the Dominican and Boca Chica we were at, and finished up with the police. So I actually got to win that last game. But it's not about the wins and losses, but it was about the culture and the community service, which has always been a part of why we've gone there. First time we went in 2015, we did a clinic. And the last two times, 2019, we visited an orphanage. And that was very impactful, and it was definitely something we wanted to do again, which we did. And we spent 3 hours there with those kids. And we gave them all DeSales t-shirts, 150 t-shirts. We made a financial donation. So it was really good. I guess what the highlight for the baseball players and the team was a little appearance by Juan Soto. We were at the Air Force getting ready to play, and a lot of the big leaguers are there working out, and he had just got done, and he waved our guys over to the right field area and took a big picture with them, and it was pretty amazing.
That's pretty cool.
Then his handler shuffled him off. So
yeah,
but it's Juan Soto.
Yeah, that's still really cool. So 36 years, 847 wins and counting, and way too many memories to count. On the field, can you pick a favorite? Maybe a win, maybe a team that you won't forget?
Yeah, almost next to impossible. I think you have to. I guess the only one that would have to stick out is the regional final against Otterbein and Boyertown. I mean, that was an epic win, a benchmark win, that got us into the World Series. And I thought we played obviously very well that year. We got hot. We've had so many good teams and so many good coaches, so many good players, and a lot of wins in spite of me. We've won a lot of games. I just try not to mess them up, and also own about 500 losses in that batch. But it's amazing. I've been coaching for all these years, and it's like 1,400 games I've been involved with. But it's been quite the ride. But I remember the players, and you name a player, I'm going to tell you something about the player. All those games, and ironically, I remember some losses more than I do the wins. I mean, I can recall 2004 in California, we played Chapman University, who was defending national champ in the World Series when we were there, and we get beat 2-1 in 10 innings in a tournament out there. It's probably the best college baseball game I was a part of, and we were on the short end of that stick. So, you know.
I was at that game with you. I think we had a double to lead off the 10th. We couldn't bunt him over.
Well, no, double is correct. Kyle Hoffman,
Yeah.
double. Kyle Peters comes up, does his job, rolls the ball, second base. The Chapman second baseman comes firing in, picks it up, throws Kyle Hoffman out in front of me, third base by like 3 feet.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. Then we pinch ran. I think Derek Miller, he gets thrown out at second, and that was the end of that.
Yeah.
So, but I remember that was one heck of a baseball game.
Those two of the best shortstops in the country, I think, going at it that day.
Two-time All-American Ian Haas, and their guy didn't miss a ball.
Yeah.
So that was amazing.
So obviously the wins, the championships, the records, they're all what you strive for. But besides those things, what has been the most rewarding part of these 35 plus years?
That's always been about the kids, without a doubt. I mean, you know, I've always tried to give them a good experience, make them, you know, better people on and off the field. You know, try to get them a good education, try to, you know, the most rewarding part of coaching in college is, you know, and I think it's the same for female sports. But on the male side, they come in and they're boys, and they leave in their men. And it happens. It takes a little longer for some than others, but for the most part, you know, they all get there. They all get there, and they're ready to go make some kind of contribution to society. And I'm very proud of them. I'm, you know, not in their social media while they're here, but they are my Facebook friends when they leave, because I want to know how they're doing, what they're doing. You know, they have kids, they need me for a reference, whatever it is they need. But, you know, I like to stay connected to them, and I'm always there for them.
100%. That's definitely what it's all about. You mentioned all the support you've had at DeSales, from the people that hired you to the people that are here now. Is there anyone else that has had a big influence on your career, whether it be an assistant coach, another staffer, maybe even an opposing coach, or a family member?
Well, it's been a lot of staff, obviously. I mean, you know, yourself is one of them. But I have to point at Richard Ludy, at Coach Ludy. I think he came aboard, 2000-ish, somewhere in there. And we were good. I mean, and I was probably starting to peak as a coach and had all my ideas together and won a lot of baseball games, but I was still missing something. And I needed that mentor, that Don Zimmer, if you will, that bench coach, you know, to help guide me on and off the field for some aspects of it. And he molded me. He finished me off. He did. He completed me as a baseball coach and, you know, as a human being, you know, with these players. And I mean, the success is there. Our expectations were really high, and we played great. And I owe a lot to Coach Ludy, for sure. And of course, off the field, has to be my wife, Roseanne. None of this is possible. None of this could ever happen without her. She's been a pillar of strength, of support, and of love that, you know, any man isn't worthy of. She's been fantastic every step of the way, and I look forward to whatever the future may bring to have her side by my side. She's been amazing. She even makes the lineup once in a while.
I was going to say, if you ask her, she's probably accounted for at least 800 of those 847 wins just by making a lineup.
Yeah, she wasn't real good last year, though.
No, she was
not. No, she missed a couple games.
Yeah.
But no, she's been fantastic. I mean, I go home and she knows, you know, when or not to engage me one way or the other. I've learned a long time ago, though, to leave it here and not take it home. But sometimes that's a little tough.
I remember I was a big part of the team when Coach Ludy was here, and I always remember his famous saying, "There are no easy bunts."
There are no easy bunts. You know, he just kind of verified all the things that we were doing, and I studied him for years when I was a Quakertown American Legion coach, and he, you know, he's been quite the guideline for me. Passed away last September, but man, he was a big part of the World Series team and several years afterward.
I think the kids love him too. They love being around him and
He was
listening to
funny.
him talk. Yeah. For the next coach, what can you say about DeSales University, baseball program in particular, the field that obviously you've been a huge part of building, Division III experience, and just the experience of being a student athlete here?
Yeah, I mean, I gotta be honest. When I first started, I never dreamed I'd be here 36 years. I figured 10 years, make my mark, see you later, go somewhere else. But the university has a way of getting a hold of you and grabbing you and hanging on. And, quite frankly, it's a great place for families. It's a great place for my sons, our sons to grow up at. Granddaughter graduated from here. Another one's coming to nursing school after she graduates from Albany. I mean, it's just a fantastic place, family oriented, and I think people care. So I think the next coach really has all that built-in, support and tradition and family concepts that exist at DeSales that, I don't think it's matched many other places at all. And the students, same thing. I heard the terms early on when I started, challenge and support school. Challenge you, but we're going to support you to make sure you get your degree. And we do that here. It's done here. Academically, you can't underestimate, I always said I never have to apologize for our education. People look at this school as, all I know, what they do is fine, but we don't have to apologize for what we do. And our kids are doing really, really well. So they're going to get a great education from a baseball standpoint. And we've always said, don't evaluate by division, evaluate by the program. So we're kind of a pseudo Division I program at a Division III school. It's kind of the way we went about things. We've gone about things, continue to do so, the way we travel and act. And, I can't tell many hotels or restaurants, airports we've been in and say, Coach, I can't tell you how well behaved your guys are. And that's the culture. That's a really, really good culture. So I think all those things are built in that are very sustainable. And whoever the next person will be, there'll be time for them to, see what else they can do. I mean, I brought it from, pulling rocks and stones out of the field so many years ago.
Heard that story many times.
Oh my goodness, to, what we have today and, what's next, I think we need locker rooms. I think it should be turfed at some point, but those are really big picture items that, somebody, a little younger than me at this point can dig their teeth into. But those are where you're going to take it and continue the tradition and the culture that's already established and make it their own.
Yeah. I mean, you've been coaching so many years, you've now got former players, kids coming here. With Ryan Lindley's daughter is going to be on our softball team this spring. So what's next, assuming you've thought that far? I know you very well. I know golf is not in your future. You stink at it. But I also know you can't sit still. Any plans for the next 5 to 10 years? Obviously, besides annoying me in the Weiland Stadium press box on game days.
Yeah, I might annoy you a little bit. We'll see. I'll be an official scorer over there. And I do recall the golf tournament, my last effort.
Correct.
In that alumni tournament.
Yeah, 4-man scramble. We used one of your shots.
I used one of my shots, which won the tournament.
That's right. We won by one.
Because I put one in from the fringe while you and Jim Boros were behind me talking, trying to line up and talk, blah, blah. I just got out and put the ball on.
Yeah, I think your eyes were closed at the time, but yes.
It don't matter. The result was really good. And that was kind of the last shot I ever made.
That's true.
Or even took, probably.
And probably the last shot you should take.
I think. And I retired. So, yeah, I'm really good at golf, but I haven't had time to even try to do anything with it. Maybe I will. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I do think I can do more television with Service Electric Network, doing a lot of Iron Pigs, and hopefully get a chance to do some more high school games and parades, whatever they.
You love being the color commentator for parades.
I love parades, and whatever they throw at me, I probably would do. I definitely want to get into the speaking world. Yeah, I'm not a motivational speaker. If I motivate you, you might be motivated enough to hopefully end this interview soon. I'm trying to inspire you to have something last for a little bit of time, beyond that. So I'd like to get into that world and have it kind of ready, sort of. Just published a book in October called "What Is Your Legacy?" Doing very well. And second one, believe it or not, is underway called Team Killers, and those are really good foundational tools that would lead me to some corporate speaking. Where where some of the money is, but I wouldn't turn down Saturday Night Football or anybody else that probably would ask me to come and talk for a little bit. But I like doing that. Other than that, I'm not sure where it'll end. But you're right, I won't sit still. Roseanne doesn't want me to sit still, so
you shouldn't sit still.
No, I shouldn't. So we'll see if the Yankees call and want me to be their bench coach.
Well, I was going to say, you talked about Coach Ludi and he was your Zimmer. So what if somebody calls you to be their Zimmer? I don't know who it would be.
No, that would matter.
Right.
That would matter. It would have to. The Yankees, but that's never going to happen.
No.
So it would be really good. I think I see stuff.
Yeah. So it's not out of the question that you'd say yes, depending on who it was.
It would have to be pretty special, and the person that would ask me, I would have to be really comfortable with. Do I need to do it? I don't think so. I missed the game. I'll still be part of the game.
Yeah.
I'll miss the kids. That's going to be what I'll miss the most, the relationships. But, on the X's and O's, I'll watch any game and be ahead of any manager in the big leagues. That's baseball, and that's what I love about it. But I guess I'd never say never, but it would have to be. And then if that scenario, I'll probably have to move somewhere, which I'd have to take the Huskies along, all three of them.
True. After this, you probably have 5 by the time this interview's done, knowing your wife.
That's a possibility.
So, it's been a true pleasure. I've known you for 28 years. I was a student with you my senior year here. You took me on a trip to Virginia, made me room at the seniors. It's been an awesome ride. I'll never forget the era from about 2000 to about 2008, which we pretty much dominated.
It was our decade.
I'm still friends with a lot of those kids. One of your former players is working out at the Rose Bowl, and I see him. I've seen him twice in the last 4 years, visiting him out there. So, it's been awesome. Any final thoughts?
No, it's been a pleasure. It's hard to believe, I talk about some of these things in decades, not years, it's decades. And, it just goes to show how fast time goes, and you try to make the most of what the day is. And as I end my talks, I'm speaking at State College tomorrow at the Pennsylvania Coaches Convention. Actually, would have spoke Friday at Pennsylvania Coaches Convention on Team Killers, and I always end my talks with, the world is full of a lot of good people. If you can't find one, make sure you be one. And I think that's good advice to live by, and be where your feet are. People say that all the time. The time goes fast, and I'm not sad that this is happening. I'm very grateful that it did happen.
You had a lot of great memories, and you certainly touched a ton of lives, and you probably will do even after this. So.
Thank you, BJ.
You're welcome.